Hey guys, it's me, your girl Melipona, back with Divinity 2 Original Sin, Part 2, question mark? It's definitely Part 2. The question mark is because I don't know how many parts there are gonna be. So I guess that doesn't change the fact that this is number 2, but in my head there was a question. Does that make any sense? It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Southwest Colorado. The leaves have fallen and they're golden on the ground. And the wind is blowing and it's just way too pretty. I'm gonna go talk to the sheep real quick because we turned on the option for me to talk to all animals. And as you guys know, I was super curious last episode about what this sheep has to say, even though she kicked me, so.
Get your dirty little paws out of my hair.
You're the dirty one. That's all. So this whole time I've been stressing out that maybe she was hurt or something and she's just mad that I'm in her hay. Whoever wrote that sheep just was mean-spirited. They just wanted to pick on people, kind-hearted people like me. Small tome? What is that? Can I take these things? Okay, well. Bucket helmet? I don't need all this stuff, right? What's a pot still? This is to cook. So I'm going to put all my cards into it, and hopefully I'll be able to make a card salad. This is the crafting screen. Select or drag items into the crafting slots and hit the combine button. Valid combinations will be added to your recipe book. Understood. Okay, so what, an apple and an egg. A egg, a apple, a bread. I want to make an apple tart. Combine. Aww. Oh, but I can keep the items. Okay. Well, that's not so bad. Jawless skull? That's creepy. What's that? Oh, it's a candle. I can snuff it out. Gold cup? That's gotta be worth something, right? Because it's gold. Where is it? I mean, I have just picked up a bunch of trash, haven't I? Where is a place that I can go put away all the trash? Alright, well, it's gonna happen that someday soon I'm just gonna go litter a bunch. But I'm not gonna do that right now. Do I even need these things? Whatever. I'm a bit of a hoarder at the beginning of the game because I don't know what's useful yet, and if it comes into play later that I made a bunch of bad decisions, I guess the worst thing in the world would be... Is this trash can? Am I literally picking up trash right now? Alright, well it's empty, so let's put some stuff in it. I can't put stuff in it? Hey, gold! No, that's candles. Why do I get them confused? They do look like similar in the game. Alright, well...
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Let's go check this barrel and see if I can put some stuff in it. Alright, so I'm gonna keep the rest of this stuff just in the meantime, and I'm going to equip my bucket helmet. So let's see, we're gonna go bucket, equip. Alright, perfect. That is extra protection from my upstairs visitor, and I should be good to go. Can you see? Does this obstruct visibility? Well, I don't want to wear a bucket on my head if I'm not going to be able to see anything. But I have a knife, so I guess I can cut holes in it, or I don't know. Helmet visual is hidden. Well, no, I want to take it off. Where is it? Unequip. Alright. One last thing of inventory management. I'm gonna put the bucket in here. Because I'm pretty sure that was like a gross shit bucket and I just put it on my head like some sort of insane person. I'm actually scared of this woman.
Well, there you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash.
Yeah, but even people who leash train with dogs get to wear... The dogs don't wear the leash all the time.
In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs.
You mean the dogs?
You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
Tags determine what options are available to you in dialogue and how the world reacts to your party members. Custom characters have race, gender, and background tags. Origin characters have unique origin tags. Understood. I don't know if I should say anything. Let's see. Jester or Mystic, those are specific tags to me. So I'm gonna see if either one of them are really interesting. I'm gonna do Mystic. Because I often had dreams that portend evil.
No. You're alive, and you're having a conversation. You are on a ship, of course, but luckily for us both, we're merely sailing the plain old sea.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to immediately backtalk to this woman, but her condescending attitude, like, I don't mind being compared to a dog, but I'm not being treated as well as a dog. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm going to be a little bitchy.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy.
Well, she doesn't seem to be taking anything that I say seriously at all, so I'm just gonna get out of her way. Is this book worth stealing, and can I? Crouch. So she's watching, but there's probably gonna be an opportunity where I can steal the book, right? So I'm just gonna press onward. I'd really like to kill her. Now that I've got a taste for blood, but I think I'm just...
Good
Oh God.
There's been a murder here.
Oh God. Blood? Can be electrified or frozen? Disgusting!
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
No known associates.
Peer into the room and ask what happened.
Spending time.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does.
Clap him on the back and say you're sure they have it 100% under control.
Hands to yourself, bloody sorcerer.
A young Magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
So she obviously doesn't trust me. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm just gonna carry on. Maybe I'll do some investigating of that later, but truth be told, I don't know if the very first thing I want to do is go looting around some bloody piles, because I already did that, and let me tell you, not very fun. There's just no loot in this game. There's just trash.
I know you. I heard you sing once. Before. Out there.
Okay, so there are
Wow.
children with these hate necklaces on them? This is so disturbing. Who gave them a ball to play with and then shackled them around their necks?
I know who you are. You're a singer. My mum likes you.
I guess fame has some perks even here.
Wow! You look cool. I like your hair. I like your eyes. I like your colour. I have one too.
This is depressing. Who wrote this? I demand to speak to the writer.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Looks like there's a fracas going on.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
The indignity.
Can we just skip
Well, well.
We saw you
What
before.
have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
Do for what? Do for what?
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse.
Stop comparing me to an animal. I get enough of that as a woman in society.
All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I do not like this. Do not touch me.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Not to worry. I'll soon remedy that.
Absolutely not.
Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
He just wanted to put his hand in my mouth. I feel like I probably want to tell him I'm not answering his questions and leave. But I don't know. The Red Prince seemed kind of cool when we saw him in the intro, so should I humor him? Whatever. I'm gonna laugh it off. I know you just tried to put your hand in my mouth, but I'm just gonna laugh. I can hardly tell a turkey from a turnip.
Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnips.
Demon's testes? You've tasted demon's testes before?
On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
It looks like you need a tailor for your tail. I can tailor. Losa can, at least. But, yeah, most certainly. I could make a bum look like a baron.
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed.
I'm not trying to be a people pleaser. I'm just trying to be honest at this point.
On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
Losa, just keep chewing your hair. It was already in your mouth anyway. LOL. Losa's such a dork.
Dear Lord, I might as well try and teach mathematics to a dog chasing its tail.
Hey, if bees can count, dogs certainly can.
So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we?
Evaluate what?
As per your own testimony, you can tailor, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle.
No, I can
and your
taste
personal
food just fine, I
hygiene
just can't
reminds
make
one
it.
of a carcass rotting in the sun.
Well, if you want to see a carcass rotting, just go into the other room.
That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry.
I was never going to agree to that.
My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of my disheartening refusal to sink in.
I'm staring at him blankly. I know you guys can't see my face, but I and Loza were both just like, you what?
Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
Imagine somebody doing this to Lana Del Rey. Because that's like the equivalent here. Losa is famous. Hey, dog! A source hound?
Right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to her.
You! Sorcerer! Blood!
No.
Go!
So the dog is my enemy. So for all this time being compared to a dog, even the dogs don't like me in this world, so... Great.
Classify this slop as food.
Alright, well what's this over here? It looks like this is a Magister. Magister
I'm
Victor.
busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Watching for clues? People don't watch for clues. Am I crazy, or is that a weird way to have phrased that? You don't watch for clues, you find them.
There has been a murder.
Alright, well this is Ifan, who we also saw. He doesn't look as hot as I remember him looking.
When you clearly don't know the first thing about
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face.
How do I know his arms are
stares across
scarred?
at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Wow, thank you. That is such a relief.
Pinches less that way, right?
Yes, how do you know how to do
Hocking
that?
a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right,
How
Vic?
old are you? You don't look really any older than like mid-40s.
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
Ask Ifan what he did to find himself at the mercy of a subordinate.
Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from
In the Joy?
interested parties.
Oh, Fort Joy, where we're going. They call it the Joy? It's a prison, right? I am still curious about the murder, but I'm gonna walk away. I don't want to do anything to Ifan that's going to make him think less of me.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
Although I've noticed in games like this, I have kind of a bad habit of stopping conversations just before they get interesting because I'm too polite and conscientious. And I think that's like a little bit of my my internal world showing through. I'm the talker, if you guys couldn't tell, so when I make other people talk for a long amount of time, I always feel a little insecure. Like, well, they shouldn't have to waste their breath on account of me. But maybe that's silly.
It was one of them.
This is Fane?
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail.
I wish I knew how to perform the trick on other people to gain their, rapport.
He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin, gently tugging at it.
What is it with everybody and touching me without my consent in this world?
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I'm gonna ask who I'm speaking to.
Ah, yes. The niceties.
You, of course, thought it was a nicety, and it was curiosity. So you're wrong.
My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... Well, I am a seeker of knowledge. That is enough.
Shady?
It is pleasurable to meet you.
Nod towards his book. Has he found much knowledge in there?
Hardly. I've been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe.
Well, it's an encyclopedia.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle.
Interesting.
Tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
I mean, we're kind of like very similar people, and I am suspicious, but at the same time intrigued. Tell him you're pretty sure some stuff has happened at some point. Some even say it continues to do so. I think I'm gonna joke around and go a little Douglas Adams with Losa's the second option.
Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer.
But it's exactly an answer. It's exactly what you wanted to know. It's just not detailed.
No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods.
I have no gods.
This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
Mystic, you have often pondered the nature of the gods, but you don't have any sure answers.
Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else?
Mystic does not mean cryptic, my guy. You just don't find the information I'm putting forth useful.
Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
Fine, everyone's just so mean to me. I guess I understand why they're all prisoners, but at the same time, like, come on.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams has just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
I'm just fine.
Glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
I don't know if he really cares. I mean, the thing is, like, when people ask if you're fine, especially in a situation like this, they know I'm not fine. Like, they know it. I just have to humor them. I don't feel like I owe them any allegiance. It's just easier for me. Does that make any sense? I don't want to have to go into explaining the depths of how I'm not fine, the depths of my rage, the depths of the guilt I feel for just murdering 2 people in cold blood, you know?
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions.
Beautiful.
He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
What am I meant to be hearing?
The ship, of course.
Alright, I'll listen to that.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash, and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
Amazing how much I just tune out.
And?
I'm gonna say the ship is moaning like a sick man.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close.
Alright.
There now, just like that.
Squeak!
There's a narrator on board.
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Ghetto. Good news.
I heard it, but I have no idea what it is, unless he can also hear the narrator, and we're about to get real meta on this ship.
It's the wheel, don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Such precision. This guy is like a master listener. Why are you so excited about Fort Joy? I haven't heard anything good about that place at all.
No indeed, Gero. But that ain't my final destination.
Oh?
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Gero.
I'm gonna say nothing but look him over once before leaving. You may want to find him again inside Fort Joy. He seems really smart and capable, but if he's planning an escape, we know there's a murderer on board, and I don't know who did it. And maybe it's not an escape. I don't know. I'm better off on my own at this point, I think.
You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
So somebody else is nosy like I am. Okay, so, you know, who else haven't I talked to? Oh, Sebel. I only know because of the intro.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Well, I asked to join and she said no.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
Whose fate is she deciding?
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
Well, then whose?
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
What? Was that a threat? Probably is best to take my leave.
She smiles contemptuously.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
A dog, a kitten, a slave, people putting their fingers in my mouth, on my hands. What is up with this world? Is it just deeply, deeply sexist? Or is there something wrong with the people on this ship? I am sick of being treated like cattle. The sheep was nicer. Guess that's to be expected, though. Considering she's an actual animal. So, it looks like I've got about 2 choices at this point. My first choice is I can go see Williams, which is a little bit nerve-wracking because I don't know what he's going to do, or I could try to investigate the murder, and I haven't decided which one. So, I think that's gonna stop it for this recording, and hopefully I'll be able to make a decision moving forward next time. So, as always, it's me, your girl Melipona, back to play Divinity 2 Original Sin. This is part 2, and as always, this is the end.